All right, so this is probably, besides the flares, the #1 most controversial thing that I have done to this truck. Not the 12 valve swap, not the mega cab flares, because those two were very controversial in general, but the 4-wheel drive. I talked to a bunch of people about this, and unfortunately, 3rd gens suffer from a very low GVWR. This is a 9,000 pound GVWR. Now, granted, yes, I wish I would have bought a 3500. I wish that I would have, you know, gotten a 2-wheel drive initially, but I like the front axle. So maybe I don't regret it because I like the front axle. We're gonna be doing some work under there today. But at some point, I will be looking for a 3500 to swap everything from this truck over to another truck so that I can have the 11.5 GVWR. Now this will be probably, I'm gonna guess, 2 years, because every time I say I'm gonna do something, it takes 2 years. Mega cab flares were 2 years. The 12 valve swap took me 2 years before I did it. So it's everything we're doing in increments of basically 2 years. So this is a 4-wheel drive Ram 2500 with a dually swap, okay? 9,000 pound GVWR. It's great because I can run non-CDL, but when I get my CDL, that's gonna be an issue. I would like to get the 3,500 GVWR, which is 11.5, which would make it 11.5 plus 21 would be 32.5 would be the GCWR. So what I'm gonna do today is I already gutted the front axle shafts, and I wanna get those yokes out of the stubbies, which I have to run the stubbies because if you don't run the stubbies, the wheel bearings will fall off and separate. I've had a bunch of people say, oh no, they won't. Yes, they will. I know people who have done it and have tried to run without the stubbies, and they didn't make it very far down the road before a wheel fell off. So stubbies are gutted. The transfer case is still there. Unfortunately, the 2-wheel drive transmission that we were looking for, that's not available now, so we need to find another 2-wheel drive transmission, and I want a 2006 drive shaft. But the front drive shaft I've already sold, the front stubbies I've already sold, and the little amount that I care about the money of getting out of the 4-wheel drive, I sold the front axle shafts and the front drive shaft for 60 bucks. He said he only needed the front drive shaft. He offered me 50 bucks. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, take the front axles too for the same price, you know? And he only had 20, so he gave me 60. So it's not really all about the money. Yes, I do want one of these T cases I'm happy to get rid of for cheap, but the other one I paid 500 for. I'd just like to get my money back out of it. But why do I want a 2-wheel drive truck? And why don't I just get free spin hubs? Well, there's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said, this is plagued with a low GVWR, meaning you're limited on weight. So my thing is, if I get rid of, instead of running the hubs, I can get the 2-wheel drive miles per gallon. But the problem is, you still have all that weight. A transfer case, front drive shaft, front axles, front, what do you call it? The front pumpkin. All that's a ton of weight. So not to mention, I just don't want 4-wheel drive. How I see it is mainly because it's a commercial vehicle. It's a highway vehicle. I don't need the 4-wheel drive. I don't want to spend $2,000 on manual locking hubs just to make it a 4-wheel drive with 2-wheel drive fuel economy. What I was told was the cabin chassis from the 3500 use the same front axle. They just have a block off plate on them. And I really want to see one to be able to confirm that. But basically, end of the day, it comes down to preference. I want a 2-wheel drive truck. I don't want 4-wheel drive. I want this thing, even if I had my CDL, this truck has a low GVWR. I want to get rid of it anyway because I want the strength of the 4-wheel drive axle with the fuel economy of the 2-wheel drive, with the lightweight of the 2-wheel drive, and that's how I see it. It's all personal preference. That's just how I see it, and we'll go from there. But let's, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna get this front pumpkin gutted. I've been saying I'm gonna do it for a while. So I'm gonna get all the bolts pulled out. We are going to gut it. At some point, I'm gonna trace that around something and just make a flat plate for that. And then I need to figure out what the socket size is for the back, but that will work out great. So we will officially have, well, besides the transfer case, we will officially have a 2-wheel drive truck. That's basically what this is. You can compare it to a 3500 cabin chassis because they're basically the same setup, just with 2-wheel drive stuff. And the other thing is simplicity. Even with the front hubs, you're still spinning a transfer case, and I've gone through many transfer cases. I've gone through about 3 transfer cases in this truck, and I have my 4th one sitting back in the storage unit ready to go and replace. So that's why I want to get rid of all of it. I like the simplicity. Engine, transmission, rear end. That's all I want. Simplicity. I've always loved simplicity, which is why I did the 12 valve swap. Simplicity. But let's get to work. front diff is open. There we go. And we're gonna have to start it and move it because we're moving the Shelby over, so. Yeah. I always say, let's see if she starts, but it is a cold morning today, so. She fires right up and presses me every time. Pull them out too. I think that's where most of the slack was this thing here, but look at that. There's some resistance on that, but seems like this is all right. If anybody wants it, let me know. 373 fronts. I'll save all the parts to go with it. Let me know. If not, I'm just gonna throw it in the scrap bin. That's weird. So this came off, but didn't actually push the thing through. The yoke actually came off, which is good. I mean, I wanted that to come off, but I was hoping I could have got that off too. Pretty much got everything out except the pinion, all this stuff, even the yoke is off, so just trying to get that out. And we'll get the seals when I take the wheels off at some point, so I'll just, once I get the wheels off and everything, I'll stick something down in there and just pound it out. So super easy. The pinion is not, but like I said, let me know if anybody wants this stuff. If not, it's all getting scrapped, and I'm gonna make a front cover to go around that, keep the gasket, and we'll just have a flat piece of steel on there. So then we'll just paint it black. So I have so many things on this truck that I said I needed to get done that, you know, I just never have time to really care. And the thing is, this actually gives me time to do it while we're waiting on other parts. Like the front diff I've needed to gut for a while, the front axles and all that, especially these. You guys can see, shine somewhat of a light on it. Somebody had some side steps on this at one point, and I've just never taken them off. So now is the time where I can just literally take this off. Not gonna shave a ton of weight, but definitely a couple of pounds that I can get rid of here. But, you know, I'm not gonna get super crazy into this taking weight off, but things like this is a bracket for a side step, and there's 4 of them, and they're solid steel. So I don't really need them or want them. Looks like whatever was on there rusted off, and yeah, I don't need it, so I'm gonna take it off. It's just all things that, small minor things that need done. Like I can show you, there's a fuel line under there that goes to the factory fuel pump. I need to take that out because I don't run a fuel pump anyway in the tank. All I run is that little sump down there. So things like that, this is the perfect time to just do it, get it out of the way, because I know me, and I probably wouldn't have touched it until, I don't know, it'll be years down the road. So I'm working on getting this guy here off, and we'll get it. Look at that. Like years. I bought this truck with these things on here, and I never would have thought to take them off, but now is the time to take them off. I feel like Turbo Tom over here cutting out weight, but he's a little bit further ahead than I am. There's a lot of stuff here. Like I will keep this gasket just because these are really good gaskets in case I ever do buy a 4-wheel drive. You can't find these anywhere, so that I'm not gonna throw away. But I'll just trace around, make a flat plate, sit under there, be good. But probably not gonna weigh all this stuff, but we're just gonna guess. Between the front drive shaft and the axles, probably 50 pounds. Between all this stuff, probably another 30. And yeah, like when I take all this stuff off, really, like, I'm not super worried about it, but we definitely do need to cut some weight out of the truck, just because, like, this truck empty with a full tank of fuel is 9,500 pounds. But if If I ran an empty fuel tank, it would be like 8,700, but even still, it's really, really heavy, and it just doesn't need to be. I can get rid of a lot of that stuff. And then when I go CDL and I get the 11.5 GVWR of the truck and the 21 of the trailer and make it 33, I can haul pretty much whatever I need to with this truck and the trailer setup. Yes, and the bumper is heavy. I do know that. Still gonna have to keep the bumper because it's just a practicality thing. I know it's one of those things, yes, it adds like another 200 pounds. I've had very close encounters. I haven't had to use the bumper yet, but I've gotten damn close. All right, so you guys can see, look at this cluster right here, okay? Most of that doesn't even need to be here. All I gotta do is make one cut and get rid of half of these lines. That's like that. None of this stuff needs to be here. It's all like not even used. So let's make that one cut and get rid of it. So you guys can see here, this is one of the lines that weren't needed, and it looks like a little bit of water or something got in it. But this was the original line. It went from the fuel pump, and then one went to the sump, which was, this would go to the main line. This one went to the sump, and this one went to the factory fuel line, and I had them teed together, and then I just blocked one off when I wasn't using the other. But this is unneeded anymore because now I just have a straight line from the sump directly to the fuel pump. So it's one solid line, as opposed to, you know, oh, we got to put fittings and tees and all that. So this riggery, half-assery, this is going in the garbage, and it's a little bit of weight if it matters. So I don't know what, interesting. Probably a little water, but let's get that cleaned up so we don't stain the floor or anything like that. But you get the point. That's the same thing I want to do now that I'm getting rid of the edge tuner and probably the gauges. I might go back to one battery as well. Just get one really good battery. Try to get things done a little bit nicer, and like wiring and stuff like that. I want to take care of pretty much all of it. So we shall see. We'll see. Only the future will tell. But for now, I'm just going to get rid of the unnecessaries. Like these were unnecessary. You know, it's not super heavy, but it's still added weight. If you're well, 26,001, but the scale's reading 20s. So if you're 20 pounds overweight, you're getting a CDL violation. Now, obviously won't be an issue when we get our CDL, but you'll still be overweight. But the more I can take out of this and get it lower and do a lot of the things right, the less I have to worry. You know, it probably saved a little bit of weight changing these flares out. Not, you know, that it needs to, but it's just, it is what it is. I'm going to be going through my tools and everything and getting out what I don't need, and probably just end up getting another toolbox. I regret selling my other one, but you live and you learn. I'll probably buy another toolbox, bring it here. Wow, this is the first time I get to see these trucks without the stupid brackets hanging down. You know, that's all 4 of them down. The one back there we got. All right, here he is, the guy that took a hammer to my truck the other day. There were a lot of people mad at you. I don't know why. I don't think it matters. So there was people that were mad that you took a hammer to the truck. So I got you a bigger hammer. Okay. I got you a bigger hammer. Yeah, so some of the comments about your truck more than you, and no, I thought it wouldn't bother you when I thought it was fun. I didn't think anything of it, so nothing against anybody. I'd probably, you know, I'd have probably said the same thing. But so I got him this bigger hammer, right? Here's the front diff. Everything's laying out, right? This is all the weight. These used to hang down right here on the side, okay? They've always hung down on the front of the cab and the back of the cab, and now they're not there anymore. I've been wanting to take them off forever. I've just been afraid the bolts were gonna snap. Oh boy, one of them. But so basically, can you see, where'd the flashlight go? Here it is. All right, you'll get it from the back, but you see that in there? There's a pinion in there, okay? I need you to hit that from the back. I was told it just comes out with a hammer. It moved a little bit. A sledgehammer? Yes, I've been using a sledgehammer because the little hammer wasn't cutting it. So you're gonna use a sledgehammer. And here's a mat for you to lay on, and here's a flashlight. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so, well, he does that. I'm not gonna film it because I just, you know, I want him to do it. But, you know, no, I'm just messing with people. I'd have probably said the same thing if I saw somebody taking a hammer to somebody else's truck and jumping over it.
They fucking were pissed because I jumped over your truck, and I'm just like, dude.
I didn't even take notice to it. I was like, just don't damage the hood, and I was like over there.
I didn't touch the hood.
I don't know. I was like, just don't damage. No, I think I said the grill. I was like, just don't damage the grill. I don't care.
Dude, I did one better. I stepped over onto the fucking, like, right before the windshield. Like, I didn't even step on the hood. Oh. You can do the same to my car. I do not care.
No, well, hold on. Before you start smacking it. Yeah, the cowl's broken, so I think he stepped on this, but that's broken anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. But I do appreciate you guys caring a little more than I do.
They were angry.
But Yeah, so this is the pinion right there. I was told it comes out with a hammer. It's moved a little bit, so I'm just gonna have him smack it. Please don't smack my oil pan.
Can I use my little hammer?
I tried with the little hammer. I used this guy here. Oh, you're under here already. I just handed you the other hand. Goodness, yeah. So I've been using a Sledge, and it's been coming out ever so slowly. All right, so to make up for him, you know, jumping on my truck the other day, I get to take an angle grinder to his today. So it should be fair, right? So there is sway bar end links. I gotta cut them off for him. I'll take an angle grinder to his. Yeah, so let the two-wheel drive saga begin. It's basically gonna be a cabin chassis. What?
I don't see a point of gutting it if it's not connected.
Let's see if you guys can see this, right? I am piece of, like, it didn't cut my eyeball, but it cut my underneath, like, the eyelid. There's a little cut there. So when he was swinging, a piece of metal flew off of it, hit me in the under eye, hit my eyeball, and then bounced off. So if you're gonna pound your pinion out, wear safety glasses. That could have been way worse. Luckily he wasn't using the Sledge, because that probably would have been even worse. He's just using his regular hammer, so I'm gonna go get some safety glasses. I learned my lesson today. I almost lost my damn eyeball. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the big old piece, there's a piece of steel off of the bottom of that flew off and somehow made its way under. I don't know. That was pretty brutal. Never again. So I think at some point I might go extreme and actually just cut these stubbies so that they're a lot smaller, or even just get a nut and a bolt. But, well, no, I'll probably keep the stubby. I'll keep the stubbies, but I want to cut a lot of the extra weight off of them as well. I know it doesn't matter, but I know it's going to drive somebody crazy, so that's why I'm going to do it. He's down here trying. I looked up videos on it, and apparently we're doing it right, so unless you want to get like a big press on it, but
I don't know how you get a big ass press on there.
I don't either. Wow, there's a big hole in my front diff.
Don't tell me what the fuck to do with the hammer.
What the hell? Hey, you guys need this thing? There's I don't know. I don't think those threads are savable. It goes from coarse thread to fine thread to no thread. That's funny.
We can make it all no thread.
Front bearings were all right. Yeah, this was what was actually screwed up. Anyway, I think that it needed bearings, but this I'm not going to save or give to anybody because it's, yes. Somebody took a hammer to it, destroyed the bearings on one side, you know? So if you need to get these out as simple as possible, he's found that if you destroy the back bearings, which you're going to replace anyway, you won't need to worry about it.
You'll have issues getting the race out though.
Oh, is the race still in there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, get it out.
I was going to try one.
You'll probably end up getting it from this way, to be honest. This is the bearing race. From the other side, you just got to hit it with an air chisel from the inside and it'll come right out. How much you think I saved on that? 35,000 pounds? There we go. So I don't care what brand truck you have, Dodge, Ford, Chevy. I don't care which one of those brands you have because they're all junk. You know why? Because they don't have a window that goes back down like this Toyota does. Look at that. Look at that. Why couldn't any of the big three do that? I understand that Ford has, I think it was the Ranger. I think it was a Ranger that you have the center that would go down. But it's like, why not just do the whole thing? I would love that on my truck. Because then I'd tint the shit out of it. I'd tint the hell out of it and then I'd be able to back in anywhere with a trailer. All right, so you see the back here with how low the back is. This is about where it's gonna sit when I dump the bags completely. I'm looking for a set of Ram 2500 front springs, but from a Hemi truck, so that the front end can drop down a little bit. And then that'll be the ride height that we're gonna really go with. I need to straighten the bumper again because, well, we were jacking the bumper up and we kind of made it cockeyed. So I'm gonna fix that quick and then retighten these bolts up, but let's get it. So I got a piece of the fiberglass fender. I'm using to trace the pumpkin and then I'll go grind it down, make it look good. So we got the angle grinders here, one with a 10-inch metal blade, and then we got the little one with the small blade. So this is fine. You don't need to worry about that. OSHA? OSHA who? Never heard of her. All right, so we're making our front diff cover and get all the holes drilled. So finish that up and bolt it on. All right, front differential cover is on. With the exception of 2 bolts, I drilled 2 holes in the wrong place, and I'm not taking it back off, so she's done. I think it came out pretty decent, besides those 2 bolts. All right, I was actually able to get up the driveway this time because I just floored it. just floored it. Not too bad. Now we're gonna back it up over here into the spot. Hopefully don't hit anything. All right, here's where we're gonna leave her. I need to get the air out of the bags because I hate this thing having air pressure in them. I think we're about to fall off too, so. Hey, there goes something. I don't know what that was. All right, she's done. Now I gotta go take an angle grinder to his quick. Oh yeah, we're close.